So far this year, when we've dealt with equations and we've solved them, our answer's generally been a line. We've had a couple complications with that. We've had our dotted lines. We've had our shading on the dotted lines. We even went a little crazy with an absolute value and got a V-shaped line, or almost like two lines that reflected at a certain point. But now we're going to talk about what happens when you have more than one equation at the same time. That's what we call a system of equations. When you have more than one equation at the same time. When that happens, there are three potential answers. The most common of which is you just get a coordinate. You're going to get an x, y value, and that's going to be one point in the coordinate plane that both lines pass through. It'll be their point of intersection, and most of the time your answer is going to appear in this format. But as always, there are a couple of exceptions. The first exception is if there's no solution whatsoever. No solution is if you have two lines on a coordinate plane that never intersect. There's no value that's common to both graphs. I want you to take just a brief moment and think to yourself, what would two lines look like if they never had an intersection? We even have a word for it, right? We call that parallel. So in our first example, when we have a coordinate, that is when we have one line and a second line, and those lines intersect and we have a coordinate, and that's our answer. The second situation is when we have no solution. No solution happens on the coordinate plane when you have two lines and they never intersect one another. Of course, we call those parallel. Since these lines will continue on forever and never intersect, we don't have a solution. The third situation is that we have infinitely many solutions. And this happens really when your two lines just happen to be the same line. So if you're given two lines and asked where they intersect, and after reducing or after simply graphing, you realize that those two lines are indeed the exact same line, well then the entire line is a solution, and you have infinitely many solutions, because any coordinate that you pick on one line also happens to be on the second line. So quick review here, the most common answer you're going to get for the problems in tonight's set is a coordinate, like 3, -1, -5, 2, 1, 0. Answers like that are the most common answers. But since this is math practice, of course you're probably going to see at least one like this and at least one like this. If they're parallel, no solution. If they're the same line, infinite solutions. That's it.